Welcome to Sandhu podcast. I am currently sat in a lobby of the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. About to do a show tonight, about to host a show, a music show tonight. But I had to catch up with this young man, Babatunde. He is a fantastic comedian. You may have seen him on Gogglebox. He's there with Mo, analysing the week's television. But also, he's just a brilliant stand-up comedian. And it's now, with my recent venture into stand-up, he's on the circuit. He's on kind of bills and gigs around me. We've not worked together. I would love to work with him. It's just a very funny guy, but more so, he just got that nature that makes you smile. He's got a lovely, shiny, smiley, happy, positive nature. So I'm super happy that he made the time for us on the podcast. This is a hilarious, brilliant comedian, and his name's Babatunde, and he's on the Tommy Sandhu podcast. Here we are. Finally, Babatunde. Welcome to the Tommy Sandhu podcast. My word. Quick equation, maths question for you. Combine Indian timing with Dubai timing, and then ethnic people from all around the world combined with COVID PCR tests, people who think they can rock up at venues with extra people, all trying to get into somewhere at the same time. What do you get, Babatunde? What do you get? What's the answer?
You get a late start.
Yeah. Bro, I'm sorry, I'm going to stereotype yourself and myself in this opening few seconds. I'm sure you're familiar with late starts and things happening out of your control when you're around the world. How do you keep your cool? Because I'm smiling for it because it's you and it's a voice and it's a face that I know and I've got a little bit of familiarity all of a sudden. But are you okay with that? How are you in these kind of situations where things go out of your control?
To be honest, I don't like being late for other people. So if anything goes wrong and like that's outside of my control and it's got nothing to do with me, I kind of just let it happen. I just sit back and go, okay, just calm down, just, assess the situation. But if it's me personally and it's just like I messed up, I panic a lot. I panic a lot.
Because I feel responsible, because obviously you're on my podcast, therefore I've made you nearly 20 minutes late, right? So I'm like, oh, this is on me, but then I kind of really what I'm doing indirectly with a smile on my face is, hey, Babatunde, it's not me, it's other ethnic people. So
absolutely.
Hey, bro, are you okay? Are you happy? You seem good. Everything's good in your world?
Yeah, man, everything is good, man. I'm happy. I'm, in a good space, and just working, man. Just continuing, just doing all the good work.
But okay, so it's a Friday today. Let's get into the kind of minuscule of it. What's your day like today? What's your weekend like? Are you thinking ahead to the weekend, or is it just like let's just get through a little bit at a time?
So today, I've got a show. So when I've got my shows and stuff, especially on a weekday, I just look at things like, is my son, ready to go to school, get him ready, breakfast, blah, blah, blah. Get him off.
How old is he?
My son's 5.
Okay, yeah, good. Mine's is about to, I've got 2 boys. One's about to turn 5, so I know. So, and what's he like in the morning? What's that morning routine like? Is he reasonable with breakfast? Is he reasonable with clothes?
Yeah. He's reasonable. And to be honest, he's kind of adapted to his routine that he's got now. He knows he wakes up, he goes downstairs, has his hot chocolate, first comes upstairs, we get him ready, has his bath and everything, and then clothes, just, put him together, and then he's out the door.
What kind of Willy Wonka factory? What kind of Willy Wonka factory are you living in that you're giving him for breakfast? I'm like that. If my son heard Babatunde gives his son hot chocolate. Like, what's up with I've got to give him a glass of milk and like cereal and fruit and things like that. That's fairly liberal. That's fairly easy going of you.
Oh my God, my son will not start his day without hot chocolate. It's not going to happen. If he doesn't get his hot chocolate in the morning, listen, it's downhill from there. You know what I'm saying? So we got to give it to him. Just make sure he's happy. Then we can have a happy day.
Okay, real talk there. From a fatherly point of view or a parental point of view, is that okay? Cause I don't know the answer because I'm making it up and working it out as we all are as parents as we go along. But I'm like okay, now my son asked hot chocolate in the morning or something, I'll be okay. Babatunde kind of does it, and other people do it. I mean, look, I'm old school in a way. I work with Cilla Black, and Cilla Black famously said she only gave her kids lemonade on the weekends, even up until like in their teens. Like it was a treat. So things like that. I'm like,
that's back in the day when they did that much.
Right, yeah, true. That was like champagne. Like what? I got the 2000 and I got the 1964 Schweppes R Whites exclusive. Like it's a vintage bottle. Hey, enjoy, son. So no, but okay. So you still do all of that because you do late nights. Now I'm straight away thinking I don't do the morning stuff with my kids because my missus does that because often I'm working till late. So now you're up doing all that, getting them out the door. Then know they've got a daily working day and then go out and gig. That's a long day.
It's a long day, but two's better than one, man. I have to help the wife out because she also works as well. So I have to help her out with like doing stuff for the child, and it's no problem to me. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. So yeah, man.
but all the time?
Not all the time. There's some days. There's some days where it's just like if I get home like 2 a.m. from a gig and all of that kind of stuff, I'm not waking up the next day to do anything. You know what I mean? So there's sometimes it's just like, look, count me out. But on the majority of times, man, it's cool. I don't mind. But yeah, going back to what you originally said in terms of like my plan for the day, especially a day like this. I've got a gig later on tonight, so my mind is just focused on my routine. What I'm gonna wear, how I'm gonna get there, blah 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 blah. I just plan it like that and then just execute. Yeah.
Sorry, and I hope I can say this without it kind of sounding contrived or anything. I'm just thinking when you talk about planning and your order of your day, I'm learning from that. I'm taking that and kind of going, that is the way to be. I need to be more like that. My producer of this podcast will tell you I'm not a planner. My wife will tell you I'm not a planner. I'm a just deal with what's right here and then go, oh, that's gone. Oh, here comes another thing. It's like that all the time. Yeah. But when I think of people who seem brilliant at that, actually, weirdly, I take my inspiration from actually black comedians. I think of Kevin Hart. He's a machine, and Kevin Hart on his social media, he shares the work ethic, the regime, how he approaches it. Like, where do you get that? Because it's funny because you got to be so disciplined in our game, your game, particularly, and I know you're doing so much more. And yet you still got to be fun. It's still got to be Babatunde. So that's hard to do, man. Where do you get your discipline from then? Who's that? Who sets that?
A lot of it does come from a lot of. I listen to a lot of motivational tapes. Audible. You can get that app Audible. So I love the fact you still call it tapes.
I love the fact you call it tapes, though.
I'm old school in it, like. But I listen to a lot of that. Kevin Hart is somebody I do listen to a lot. I really do. He's very, very inspiring, and he's but he's got another book called The Decision. I listened to that. Well, I've finished that book maybe 5 times. I religiously listened to that tape.
Because I listened to his last book, which is more like his kind of life story kind of thing. I forget what it's called now. But what's The Decision? What's that about?
So The Decision is it's a motivational book, and it's all about taking the decision to go after your goals, go after your dreams, and he's got steps to to reaching your goals and stuff like that. So things like your attitude, things like keeping a positive mindset, all these little things. And listen, a lot of it you don't practice, but it's good to listen to like on a daily basis because somehow it gets in there and you won't even notice that you're doing it. You just do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So positive mindsets. Sometimes I'll be thinking something negative and I'll just be like, no, just accept it and push on. And that comes from books like that. So yeah, I listen to that all the time. And that's where my motivation comes from.
I heard him say famously, he says he was on Rogan's podcast a few months ago, might be longer, and he said there's a game like life. He goes, if you treat it like a computer game, there are obstacles, there's baddies and goodies, and there's different tactics you have to employ to kind of get round those things to get to carry on. He goes, but if you see it like that, then you won't see the bad or the negative as negative. It's like, okay, this is my next thing. And you know, and I think stand-ups, comedians, you know, you have to have a positive mindset. If there's that self-belief's not there, if you don't deal with the people say about bad gigs, I'm like, well, bad gigs are just part of it. It's like a quiet day in a shop, but it's more so, it's broader than that. Like, it's that overall belief that you've got to constantly have, kind of go, no, it's cool. You know, it's going to pop, it's going to come through. And I know it is for you. So it's easier for me to say this to you because you're there. You're a name in the comedy circuit. You know, you're a name on the television. No, but you aren't.
Thank you.
But I know that's kind of, you know, that's what in the last kind of few years. Do you feel like into the new sort of Premier League of things? You were playing Championship and you've done your Division 1, you've done your conference leagues.
Oh yeah.
What's it feel like?
No, definitely.
Yeah, what's it feel like now then?
It feels like, for me, I just feel like, all right, now the work begins. Now there's no time to slack. Like, whereas before, you know, kind of just being that kind of name that was floating about, I could take it a little bit more easy. I didn't have to kind of like, you know, not stress myself, but kind of like be on my own back about, you know, hey, you need to write this material, you need to do this, you need to make sure that this joke is ready and blah, blah, blah. Like, now it's like I am focused, I'm driven, and that's because I look at it like there's a clear opportunity here. And now that you've become like a household name, you can't drop the ball. But I also see it as a good thing, and I do see it as fun, not to look at it as a burden. I look at it as fun. And I look at it as, you know, this is the thing that you've always wanted to do. Like, you did this, you were practicing this when you were a little child. Now that you're a big man, you got a family, blah, blah, blah. Just go at it, you know, take it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's, you know, being in the Premier League, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's so much fun.
But also, I've got to say, you know, we were talking about this last time with a big debate about what goes on in comedy clubs. What goes on in comedy clubs is so not what goes on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Language, attitudes, you know. So I'm scared. I said last night to my boys, I was out here, I'm in Dubai, and I was going, I don't know where the world's going now, because I know what's a joke. No comedian wants to hurt anyone's feelings. Bottom line.
Yeah, people getting cancelled left, right, and center.
Right. So, and the problem you got being in the Premier League now is you're dancing with extreme worlds. Is that a thing? Does that scare? Do you like, if you got guard up, you got to be more protective? You change your game a bit.
I think now it's one of those things for me. It's just like, if you, as a comedian, you have something to say and you're able to break down your opinion and, you know, the joke, you're able to effectively communicate that opinion, that joke, then I think, yeah, by all means, say what you have to say. But if you're just going for like shock value and there's no substance to it, then there's no joke to it, there's no substance, there's no real opinion, there's nothing there that people can go away and go, hey, you know, even though it was funny, you know, that comedian, they gave me something to think about. If there's none of that, then you're just being offensive. You know what I'm saying? But if you've actually got like a real valid point, a real valid opinion, then at least I feel like we owe it to the comedian to hear them out. You know, just, you know, on the topic, you know, what happened to Dave Chappelle recently. With his special, I remember I watched it. I think I watched it like twice, because the first time I watched it, I was just like, ooh, it's a bit much. Then when I listened to it again, it was just one of those things.
The closer, you're talking about?
Yeah, the closer. When I listened to it again, I was just like, okay, I can see where he's going, but I also understand why the trans community will be offended, and they have every reason to be. But as a comedian, me being a comedian, I'm like, the way he's kind of like translated it, like, I understand why people are just saying, hey, give him the leeway just to say not what he wants, but to say what he's saying. You know what I mean? So, but me, myself personally, I don't step on nobody's toes. I'm not trying to get cancelled here. So yeah, you people don't have to worry about that with me.
Hold on, I'm back. I'm sorry, I lost you for a minute.
Go back. Yeah.
What I got to, you said I get where he's coming from. You said I get where he's coming from. If you don't mind, can we go from
Oh
there?
yeah. No, I get where he's coming from in terms of, you know, all the trans jokes that he was making and the opinion and, you know, that he was making. But I also feel like if you feel like you can say all these things, then people have the right to be offended, to choose whether they're offended or not. And I think
Yeah,
it goes both ways. Me, the comedian, is just like, yeah, let comedians say what they want. But at the same time, as an entertainer, as a household name, you do have a responsibility to correctly represent each person, tribe, or group. And sometimes there's certain topics that just stay away from. And me as
yeah,
a straight heterosexual black guy, I'm not trying
Mo-
to upset nobody, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
You've been upset yourself for so many years. I'm like, I don't want to put that on no one else now. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Like we
I
know
mean,
what it feels like. But just the final thing on the closer, just because it's a tricky one.
it
Again,
is.
I only just got to Dave Chappelle since 2017, since he put the 3 specials. So I'm kind of new to that wave, and actually I'm new to even stand up. I've only just been doing it, 3 or 4 years, and even then that was
Yeah,
lockdown, stopped that. But at the end of it, he said, "Don, you understand?" Because it gets very emotional in it.
he
Don, you
does. Yeah,
understand? I never had a problem with the trans community, but he says something like, and don't quote me on this exactly word for word. It isn't with the trans community; it's with white people. He said something like the very end of it, and I went like,
yeah,
"Oh no, Dave, you can't say that either. That's not right, Dave. Like,
yeah.
because white people love you." And then I would, and I think, oh, if an Asian comic or a black comic said, no, I haven't got anything against LGBTQ. It's just black people or it's just brown people. I'm like, no, that's not a solution, Dave. Like,
Yeah.
but I think what he meant was the power that be
Power.
that
It's the power
override.
structure. Yeah, and I think that's what his problem is. Within obviously the LGBT community, I think he sees that there is, you know, the white man power holding it up, and that's his, you know, his concern and his problem. Especially in America, it's different to over here. So that's a topic I'm gonna educate myself a bit more on before I comment. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. But I also, that's
Like I
the
said,
thing.
I only just got this Gogglebox money, so I'm not trying to mess it up.
I don't want this podcast to be the thing that blew it. So like, oh, it was all going
Nah,
so well, and then he spoke to Tommy. No, yeah, it's like,
yeah,
no. And actually, let's move on to that because you're right. Firstly, I want to say it's amazing how comedians are almost doing the jobs that politicians probably need to do. And look at the way we're talking,
yeah.
and yet we're dealing with social issues, and you're dealing with social issues, and I'm sure you and Mo, when you're on Gogglebox, always playing. How is it going to play out? What?
Yeah.
How ethnic can you go? Kind of how?
Yeah, that was a concern. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, Tommy. That was a concern. I remember while I was on there, I was just like, I was asking Mo, I was like, can I be myself? He was like, yeah, man, just be yourself. I was just like, no, bro, can I be myself? And he was just like, yes, bro, be yourself. I was like, okay, cool. And like
Okay, right.
once we got that permission, it was, oh man, we were just flying from there.
Yeah.
We became fan favorites, which was crazy for me. It was
Yeah.
because I was, prior to Gogglebox, I was trying so hard to reach, the wider demographic as a comedian, and it just wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying? I'd go up and down the country, and yeah, I'd make people laugh, but it just wasn't happening. And then when I just, got the opportunity with Gogglebox to be myself,
Yep.
boom, all the doors just flew open, and I couldn't believe it because you try to be what you think people want you to be, and it's just never the way. Never the way. Always be yourself.
Now, yeah, and that's exactly. And then you've got to kind of, I think, as always, now I live and die by this. Is the fact that by this and this. If this feels true, if you're saying it and it's true, then
Yeah.
then that's okay. And you know what? Can I say, okay,
That's it.
It's a great show. It's a warm show. You know, the mix of characters, it feels symbolic of life. You get an insight to great programs as well. I mean, the amount of shows I would not have discovered if it wasn't for that show.
Exactly.
And is so and it. But you know they know what they're doing because they pick the people right from yourselves and you know to even all the other kind of characters. I like all the northern accents, you know, and all that warts on the telly. You know, it's all that because those are voices I don't hear. So, but there is. Does it feel nice to be part of something that just you know? Because ultimately, as artists, as comedians, you want to touch people. You want to just have that connect.
Yeah.
This is your route to connect. It's not the. I would imagine it's not the fame. It's the connection. I don't know. What is
the connection? No, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Because you know, I can only go from like you know the messages I get from people that are just like, I'm just like you. You know, we're the same. I scream when I watch TV. Oh, I don't like horror movies as well. Or oh, you said you don't like cheese. I don't like cheese too. Hey, we hate Cheese Club and all it like all these things that you make from. Like just people watching you watch TV or you being on TV, like just being yourself. I couldn't have asked for a better gig. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was talking to one of the producers and I was just thinking, I was just like, yo, thank you for having me on this show. Like, you know, it's been honestly the best thing that's happened for my career. Absolutely 100%. Yeah, man.
Why don't you like cheese? What's your issue with that?
Cheese.
Everybody loves cheese.
No, cheese is disgusting. Cheese is from the devil. Cheese was made in hell. It is disgusting. I don't understand how you can eat something that stinks. How does that make sense? It stinks. And people pick up cheese and go, It's like, what? The two don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I remember I accidentally I ordered buffalo wings. And I didn't know it came with blue cheese dip. I thought it was garlic sauce. So I've dipped my buffalo wing in there and I've taken a big bite. And I went, and like the whole thing just dropped. I was like, what the hell is that? That's not garlic. Or if that's garlic, that's gone off garlic. They were like, no, that's blue cheese. I was like, that is disgusting. Yeah, I hate cheese. You can see from the passion. Oh my God.
You're right. No, I'm not a massive fan of the blue cheese or the stinky cheese, but like gooey cheese, like Emmentaler and Edams and okay. So don't. Or are you gonna say no? I can eat pizza though.
Yeah, I can. I'm gonna say that. No, yeah, I can eat pizza. Apparently, a mate of mine, he was just like, "Oh, you don't like I think it's cow's milk or cow's cheese or something like that. Because I think mozzarella is from buffalo.
That's right.
I believe.
Yeah, because that's what I think they call it buffalo mozzarella.
Yeah. And I can have a little like halloumi. I'm okay with, and that's where we stop. That's where we don't go past mozzarella or halloumi. We chill. Yeah.
Okay. You're not worried about like Babatunde offends the cheese community of the UK as he comes out and says it.
I don't care. Listen, that's the one community I will offend. Like I will go in on them. I'll write a whole dissertation just slewing them. I don't give a flying toss if I offend every single cheese eater on the planet. I don't care.
Okay, then you're in danger. You're in danger, right? Because I got to warn you. I heard you're about to go to your first Indian wedding, right?
Yes, and I cannot wait.
Now, paneer is served up as the cheese. It's a bit like I suppose it's a bit like a halloumi. That's probably so. And it's because there's so many. You can ask. Who do you know what kind of wedding it is? Is it like a Hindu wedding? Is it a Sikh wedding? Is it a Muslim wedding or
Hindu
wedding? So it may well be vegetarian.
Yeah,
it will probably. Yeah. Okay. So then paneer guaranteed will be served up in different forms. You know, it's So you'll have like a curried version, you might have the kind of barbecued style, but it's like kind of halloumi. It's like you make a skewer. Are you gonna be? I want you to be ready. I don't want you to go in the middle of an Indian wedding.
Look out for that. I'm gonna look out for that. But if I don't, what it is, I will definitely projectile vomit that thing.
Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, how culturally insensitive. He couldn't even stomach. No, but you got lots of it. Yeah, okay, fine. He's like, I'm getting up, I'm walking out, I'm taking my gift back. There you go. See you later. But no, so generally the Indian wedding experience, it's a big deal. Like it's a few day affair, and it's a long day. It's lots of dancing and partying and all that, and the outfits, and it's unique. So if you've never been to one, you looking forward to it? Are you excited about it?
Man, I'm so excited because it's one of my close friends, my friend Mira. She recently just got engaged, and I'm so happy for her. But I'm so excited to go to this because I've heard about Indian weddings. Obviously, I've seen some of them on like TVs and social media, the colors and everything. And it reminds me a lot of like Nigerian weddings because Nigerian weddings are very, very big, colorful. Nigerians, we go all out, and Indians, you go all out just like we do. Yeah. So I cannot. I'm so like I don't think you understand how excited I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can see it. I can see. I told my friend Mira that I need the outfit. I need whatever the guy wears. I want the sword. I don't even know if they have swords. I think that's Sikh, innit? That's Sikh.
Yeah, it's fine. I want it all. I want an elephant. I want a camel. What else can I have?
What else can I have? Yeah. I want it all, man.
He's like, Babatunde, man, just turn up and eat the food and go home, okay? That's what we need you to do. You're like, no. I want to get to this. No, but that's what's nice. And you know what? So, and you're right. It is like, I suppose, Nigerian weddings in the way that the colorfulness of the clothing, the pride as well that people have of their culture, the way the women dress up, everyone looks like royalty, and I love that. And on that note, sorry, I say you've kept the name. I'm saying it because I'm a kind of a cultural sellout to the name, the Indian roots, because here I am as Tommy Sandhu. I was called Tommy by my parents before I was called my Indian name, which is Navraj. But you stuck with Babatunde. You could have been Bobby. If you were Punjabi, Babatunde would have become Bobby. It would have just been, Bobby, Katel, Bobby, Bobby. It would have been that kind of thing. So was that a conscious decision to keep on to your culture? I don't want to sound like, but was it like no? Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
What was the process?
Because Babatunde was always a name that provoked laughter when I was young. Anytime you say Babatunde, everyone would just start busting, Babatunde, and it's just like, no, that's my name. They were like, oh, and so it was one of those things where I knew, all right, as a comedian, once just saying the name Babatunde would get people's attention, but that's to Black Caribbeans, Africans, and Asians as well. That's because we kind of all being like children of immigrants, is you kind of all know each other's culture to just a little, and so it kind of worked a lot when I was just doing the Black circuit. But when I crossed over to the mainstream circuit, my agent, she was just like, yeah, you should add your soul. And I was just like, I don't want to confuse white people. And she was just like, no. Add your surname because it's your name. And people are going to learn to say your name. And she was just like, if people can say Ramesh Ranganathan, they're going to learn Babatunde Aleshe. And I was just like, okay, cool. And my agent, my manager, she's white. Both my managers, you know what I'm saying? They're white, but they're just like, stick with your name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't change your name for nobody. And I was just like, cool. And hey, it's worked. So,
now,
you know what I mean?
I wonder whether that kind of almost set you on your path. Like you say your name, you're a kid, you get a little laugh. There's two ways people can go with that. You can either go, oh, I don't want the laugh. But you actually, something you went, actually, I don't mind the laugh. I'll take the laugh. Yeah. And now I'll keep going with that. So it's almost like, which came first? The comedian, or is it the name that triggered the comedian?
Oh no, it's definitely comedian first. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Always from day one, from little kid.
From day one. from day one.
Some people have just got that little glint, and you have. Look, when you smile, it's not just like yes, you've got a big smile, and you're a nice guy, but you're like, it's just there's that. And with kids, some kids have that as well, and you're gonna go, oh, that one out of like you can see it. You can see it in pets. You're gonna go, that's the cheekier one. It's just I don't know if it's a spirit thing, a soul thing, but have you always had that?
I've always had it, always from a little kid. Teachers always telling me off because it's just like you're disturbing the class, blah blah blah. Like that was from infants up until drama school. When I was in drama school, I was always getting told off for distracting the class. I got told off for distracting co-workers when I was working at TFL. Like everywhere I go, I always get told off.
he's a distraction. That is it.
I'm a distraction. I'm just gonna keep making jokes. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I did a lot of drama. You just touched on it, and I love drama and performing arts. I had to do flamenco as a module for 2 years. And I literally, and I don't know how it was for you. Where was school for you? What part of the world?
Drama school was in London. I went to drama school called Central School of Speech and Drama. So that's where I went. Yeah.
And at that time, like how kind of diverse was drama school, or was it what? Right.
Wasn't diverse at all. I was the only black person in my class, a class full of 30, and it was just 2 ethnic minorities, one being me and another Indian guy called Neat Mohan, who is currently in Casualty, if I'm correct. He's starring.
Oh God, is he all right? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. But no,
okay, he's acting. All right. Yeah. I thought you meant he's currently because I didn't want no other ethnic people on there, so he's currently in Casualty. I had to mess him up. but it's but on that note, it's strange because obviously when I was doing flamenco and performing arts and real kind of theatery stuff, you're like it was so alien to my life. I watch Bollywood films, I watch Hollywood films, but to be doing dance and expression or things like that, that's you almost like you do it quiet. You have to do it a bit secretly because it's not your normal world. But obviously the performer in you wanted to do that because somewhere you're like, no, this is part of me, right?
Yeah, it was part of the journey for me. It was something that I definitely had to do if the acting side or the part of my life, something I definitely had to do to get to where I am now. So I don't regret it, but if I can turn back time, I probably wouldn't have gone to drama school. I would have just stuck to doing stand-up because it's been the only thing to consistently open doors in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And on the note of opening doors, stand-up, what I think is so amazing now, and again, like I said, I'm so new to it, like I'm new to Chappelle and all, and even watching it as well. It's amazing how different a group of people can come into a room, audience-wise, and enjoy the stand-up. I know you're doing stuff with Desi Central, you do stuff on the Kobo circuit, comedians of Black origin, of course, right? So, but right now, I feel like, I mean, you know it from 10, 15 years ago, but what a great time because everyone's welcome, everyone's there.
Yeah. No, the great thing about I'd say the Black circuit, the Asian circuit, it's got like this life of its own. Like if you're famous on the Black circuit or the Asian circuit, like you're famous, bro. Like because like you can go anywhere. You can go London, Manchester, Birmingham. You can go up and down the country, and everybody knows your name. And people think to themselves that because the mainstream circuit don't know who I am. Oh, nobody knows me. No, like people know you. You know what I'm saying? So I've had so much fun performing. To just I won't say just Black and Asian crowds, but majority Black and Asian crowds. And I've had so much fun performing to mainstream crowds, which consists of everyone, not just white. And I need people to understand, when you do mainstream crowds, it's never solely white people. It's everyone. And it's beautiful, man. Comedy's comedy, man. You know what I mean? Oh, I think I've lost you. Oh, no. Oh no!
Somebody that Asians aspire to.
Sorry. Can you repeat
may
that? I
have
think
lost
I
me.
lost you. Yeah. Sorry. Say that
I'm
again.
waiting to see if you move because my screen's frozen. I'm
Yeah.
doing
I
that
can
just
hear
to
you
keep me moving.
though. I can hear you though. Oh no, it's gone again. Oh, there you go.
Come on.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, you're back. Right. Okay, I got it.
Yes.
Oh, you could hear me. Sorry, I couldn't see or hear anything. So okay, I'm gonna just pick that up and go. What is it about Black British comedy? I just think it connects. Like Asia, and as an Asian stand-up comedy, I'm telling you, a comedian straight up. I'm looking at Kane. I'm looking at Slim. I'm looking at the people I've worked with. Sorry, and you, of course, but I see you at a distance. We haven't worked together yet. But
Yeah.
but like I look at him, I'm like, oh, I see. Particularly with Kane, I see his strength of delivery. I see his ownership of the stage, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I love Kane very much. I said, Kane, I love you, man. I love everything about you. I love around you. I want you to tell me more. Just tell me what you know about it all. But there's a strength in the comedy. There's a strength in the delivery, in the storytelling, in the
Yeah.
poignancy.
Yeah.
This is the time for the big Black British takeover. It is, it's time.
Yes. It is. Yeah. You know what it is?
But what is it?
I think it's stories that we can relate to. Growing up as an ethnic minority, we have a different upbringing to everybody else. Our upbringing is something that we hold close to our chest. Our culture, our background, everything from our food to the way we dress to going to places like church or the mosque or going to the temple, different things like that only we can relate to. It is something that when we share it on stage to people who also relate, that's where the joy and the laughter comes from. You know what I'm saying? So if I
Yeah,
talk about a black church to a black audience, they're gonna laugh their heads off because they understand exactly what goes on in a black church. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you try and describe a black church to a mainstream audience, you're gonna have to paint the picture a bit more until they get the actual
yeah,
joke. You know what I'm saying? So that's what
yeah.
it is about the black and Asian circuit. You know what I mean? But the Black
It's,
British takeover, like you said, it's our time. It's our time right
yeah.
now, and it's a great thing that people want to hear our stories. They want to hear our narrative. I think it is just it's incredible.
Well, listen, it's not only your time, it's time for me to let you go and also say thank you because
Thank you, man.
you're a force and I love that, and I just love seeing the success,
Thank you.
and let it please continue. The Black British Takeover is actually on the 8th of December at the O2 with
Yes,
Mo Gilligan and
yes,
friends as well, so that's happening.
yeah,
Just from a if I can say anything as a brother, as a friend, as a fan, it's just enjoy and keep
yeah, man.
smiling and keep
Thank you.
trying again. And I do believe that when you emit that, it comes across. I feel it from you, and just more success comes off the back of it. So
Thank you very
I'm
much, my
watching with
brother.
pride, and I'm also laughing and enjoying you on the screen as well. So
Thank you
so
so
kill it.
much, man.
Just keep doing it. Keep
Yeah,
doing it.
man.
That's all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much. Yeah,
much.
like you said, it's going to be on the 8th of December, O2 Arena. Mo Gilligan, myself, Babatunde, Slim, Tanya Moore, the composers, Eddie Caddy. It's going to be an incredible show. Make sure you get your
That's a
tickets,
That's
man. Thank you.
a great lineup. All right, enjoy it.
Thank
Thank you so much, Babatunde.
Take
Take
care,
care, bro.
brother. Cool.
Thank you, man. I heard, genuinely, this is just as a fact, I heard that if you hit subscribe to this podcast now, if you have subscribed on Apple or on Spotify or on JioSaavn or wherever you are listening right now, if you are subscribing and getting that on a regular, which means you get the little notification when the new episode comes out, fact, this is a fact. Don't tell no one else's. If you hit subscribe, you can eat as many jalebis as you want and you will never put on weight. I know. I don't understand the logic. It makes no sense to me. I mean, how's a podcast relate to the DNA way in which your body breaks down jalebi sugar stuff running through your cell? I don't understand. But what I do know, it's a little cheat to life. So if you like jalebis, then you should hit subscribe to this podcast. Oh, and follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow us, eat jalebis, be happy.